Hi besties and welcome back to my trash channel. This video was hard to make saying that my Wit account was banned. I don't know if you saw, but in part 2 I pinned a comment talking about how I wouldn't be able to post until the 24th of January. Luckily I'm so smart and I made an alt so I can keep posting now. But anyways, that's all I needed to say. Any support on those acts would be appreciated. I really hope I don't get banned again. But yes, enjoy the video besties. The fuck was that? His cheeks flushed a bright red and his hands quickly latched themselves onto them. The fuck type of dream was that? Sakuatsu would never act that way. It wasn't in his nature. And who was he dreaming about stuff like that? He didn't even like him like that. But he didn't have any more time to think about his obscure dream. Hearing a knock at his door followed by a call. Can I come in? Sure. The door slowly opened, revealing Sakuatsu, who took a few paces into Atsumu's room, until he was at the side of his bed. Atsumu removed his hands from his face, so that he was actually able to see Kiyumi, who had a raised eyebrow. You look like a tomato. Geez, I didn't fucking realize. Calm it, will you? I was just stating what I saw. Yeah, I get it. Now what do you want? Atsumu gulped, trying to stop his eyes from moving away from Sakuatsu's face. But to no look. His eyes traced themselves down his neck until they were focused on his torso. Could he really have those kinds of abs? He felt his face heat up once more. No. Keep it together, Atsumu. It was just a dream. I'm getting you up. It's 11 AM. Okay, and? We have class in 4 hours. Then what do I need to get up now for? We need to make a plan, idiot. HAA. Well, if you're done crying, we gotta start Operation Make Hinata Jealous. That will take 4 hours? What? No, of course not. Just get up. I'm sure you've had enough sleep already. Alright, fine. But get out. I'll be there in a sec. Alright. Sakuatsu proceeded to walk over to the door, making sure to close it behind himself. Atsumu practically bursted once he heard the click of it, his face so vibrant he looked like he was going to explode. What was he doing? It wasn't like it was his fault. Sakuatsu just looked so goddamn hot, and his dream was making him think all types of dumb things. Though he sighed, taking a moment to try and calm his glowing face before he walked out the room and towards their living room, where Sakuatsu was already sat on the couch, a coffee in hand. Hey. Atsumu sat down at the opposite side of the couch since Sakuatsu was half laying on it, so he couldn't exactly sit next to him. Right. So last night whilst you were busy crying over your little boyfriend, I took the time to think of some ideas. You're welcome. HAA. You already thought of something. It was hard not to. I spent last night worrying about whether you were going to be alright, so I distracted myself in thinking of something. You're worried? Atsumu felt a tingle in his chest, his eyes planting on Sakuatsu's pitch black ones that looked so much more beautiful than ever before, though he shook his head. Of course I worried. Like I said last night, I care about you. Even though you're a fucking idiot. Couldn't you just leave it at the first bit? You can't go 3 seconds without insulting me. Shut up. I thought of some things. That's enough in return for all the insults in my opinion. Atsumu scoffed and rolled his eyes, pulling his legs to his chest. Alright, whatever. What were you thinking for our plan then, you brainiac? Sakuatsu smirked. Something Atsumu thought he'd never see, which somehow took him back to his dream. The vision of Sakuatsu's bare body filling his mind. He wouldn't be surprised if he was drooling. Though he slapped himself out of it as soon as he was able, literally. What? You okay? Why yes. Continue. This fucking dream was going to be the death of him. Right. So as I was saying, I think first we should come out? What do ya mean come out? I'm already out as openly B. Sakuatsu scoffed. I didn't mean it like that. I mean as, you know, dating. Oh. I see. So you wanna make it official. Hinata latched on already, so I think we should just let it out. How many followers do you have on Instagram? Atsumu thought for a moment, his eyebrows pushing against one another. Around 500,000 I think. But it's closer to 600k at this point. What? HAA. When you said you had a lot of followers, I didn't think you meant you were practically famous. How the fuck did you get so many in the first place? There is honestly no way people actually wait for your posts, right? Now it was Atsumu's turn to smirk. That's what I thought, but I guess people are just interested in my life. I don't see why. You're not exactly doing anything amazing. Shut up. People were genuinely upset after they found out about mine and show's breakup. They are invested in my life, Omi. For some reason. That's kinda weird. I'm still confused as to why you have so many followers in the first place. 500,000? Geez. Well, I was pretty well known for volleyball back in high school, you know. I got a lot of followers from that. But still, 500,000. Atsumu chuckled. Yeah, getting way too invested in this, Omi. Just tell me why you wanted to know. Oh right. What I mean is, you should post a pic of us now. A lot of people are going to see it, and we can make this official. I mean, only if you want to. I'm not forcing you. Sakuatsu was talking a lot more than he usually would, and it was clear to say that Atsumu was enjoying it. He was able to listen to Kayumi's voice for longer periods. Love. What? You should call me love. Atsumu's eyes widened, realizing what he had just said. He didn't even remember even thinking about saying it. It sort of just fell out of his mouth. And now he had to make some bullshit story up to cover up his mistake. Love. I mean like, pet names. Shoyo. He used to be big on pet names. He might get jealous when someone else uses them on me. Or something. So you want me to call you love? I guess. Sakuatsu smirked a second time, this time provoking the exact same reaction as before. Atsumu tried his best to maintain eye contact with Sakuatsu and not look anywhere else on his body. It was hard, but he managed. I mean, if that's what you want, love. That feels disgusting to even say. Just, do you want to post something or not? Oh. Okay, yes. Do ya wanna post this now, or? If you want to make this official, then we can post something now. Yes. Okay then, wait. Atsumu rushed his hands to his pockets, them searching the area before eventually his fingers laced around his phone. He had fallen asleep in his clothes from the day before, so he still had all of his things on him. So, how do we pose? How am I meant to know? Do I look like I've ever taken a couple picture before? What? Really? Never? What? I didn't think that would be that surprising. I'm not very outgoing, nor do I care much, if at all, for relationships. Atsumu's mouth opened wide, almost like he had just seen someone get hit in the face with a baseball, his body subconsciously edging slightly closer towards Kayumi. You have never dated anyone? No, I haven't. But yeah, like, hot. Yeah, I am. Sakuatsu scoffed, pulling his legs closer into himself to allow the blonde more room to move closer towards him. But calm down there, buddy. Don't get all horny on me. Atsumu's cheeks instantly flushed. He tried his best to hide it with a hand raising up to cover the side of his face and a fabricated death glare. I didn't mean it like that. No, I'm just teasing. Calm it. I know I'm hot, but my personality isn't exactly attractive. It's quite off-putting, really. At least now I know why I lack friends. Wasn't it obvious from the start? But yeah, friend. Yeah, because you don't shut up, nor did you give up on pestering me. But it was all good in the end, Omi. We're like best friends now. Sakuatsu smiled softly. It was small, but it didn't fail to tug at Atsumu's heart. We're not best friends. Yeah, right. We're husbands. No. We're not that either. Atsumu huffed, shuffling closer to Sakuatsu once again, though this time purposefully. We'll be married one day, you will see. I seriously doubt that. Only time will tell, Omi, and you will see. Sakuatsu scoffed. Whatever, are we going to take this pic or what? Eager are we? Eager to get it over and done with? Yes, definitely. What? Not bad at all. Plus you're the one who suggested it. This is for your sake, Atsumu. Just shut up and tell me how to. I don't know. Pose? Hey, alright. Wait a second. Atsumu picked his phone up from where it was resting in his lap. He quickly unlocked it, quickly pressing on the camera icon and giving Kayumi a smirk once it opened up. What? Just thinking. Here, wait. Spread them legs, Omi. What? No. Just let me sit between your legs, Omi. Why did you say it like that? That sentence could have been phrased so much better. I wasn't thinking 𝗴𝘬𝘬𝘶. I just said what I wanted you to do. Now anyways, let me sit there. Okay. Sakuatsu parted his legs slightly, welcoming the blonde into his lap, which Atsumu shuffled into almost too quickly, his back pressing against Kiyumi's solid chest. Atsumu's cheeks tingled beneath his skin. It seemed Sakuatsu really did have those abs from his dream. Well, from what he could feel at least. He wondered how he had gotten them, though he shook the idea off completely. Now was not the time to be thinking about Sakuatsu's gorgeous body. Suddenly he was thankful he was facing away from Sakuatsu. He could tell just by the feeling in his cheeks that they were at least slightly tinted pink. Is this okay? Yeah. Atsumu hummed. Hey, wait. He grabbed both of Sakuatsu's lazed free arms that were lolled beside him, pulling them in until Kiyumi was pulling his waist. Fuck. Atsumu had never been held like that before. Usually when he was with Hinata he would be the one hugging him, but Sakuatsu was close to a foot taller than Hinata, so it only seemed natural for Sakuatsu to hug him instead. Yeah, loving this 𝗴𝘬𝘬𝘶. I'm hating every moment. You don't hate it that much. I doubt you have ever hugged anyone before. Be grateful that I'm letting you have the honor of it. The more you know. HAA. You haven't hugged anyone before. We fucking cuddled yesterday. Because that's your job as my husband. But apart from that, Sakuatsu sighed. Let's just say, it's been a while. Oh my god, just hurry and take the pic already. Get me out of this. But I'm enjoying myself 𝗴𝘬𝘬𝘶. Good for you. This is good marriage bond in time. What is it with you and insisting this marriage shit? Yeah, my husband 𝗴𝘬𝘬𝘶. It's because you love me so much. I can feel it. Your senses are a little off. Sakuatsu groaned, not wanting to wait any longer, his hand picking up Atsumu's phone and offering it to one of his free hands. The blonde chuckled before picking it up. Alright, I'll take the pic now. Atsumu hummed and smiled, raising his phone up so that it could catch both of them in it. He rested more of his body weight into Kiyumi, the top of his head resting against Kiyumi's cheek. Sakuatsu admired Atsumu's gorgeous blonde locks that felt so fluffy against his face. He smiled as he nuzzled his face into them. Atsumu took a picture of them both, his fingers making a peace sign before he even had time to react to what Sakuatsu was doing. 𝗴𝘬𝘬𝘶. What are you doing? Your hair is fluffy. His cheeks instantly flushed, though he shook his head lightly, yet not enough to shake Kiyumi off of him as he raised his arm to show him the picture. The picture was cute, at least from Atsumu's standards. It's okay, you gonna post it? Yeah, calm it, impatient one. Posted 23 minutes ago. Likes 4.23k. Comments 7.54k. It seemed people had already started going wild, and it had barely been 20 minutes. Achu. Hey. Atsumu was sat on the kitchen countertop whilst on his phone, his legs swinging backwards and forwards as he mindlessly scrolled through his socials. You wanna go shopping with me after class? For what? Food, of course. I'm craving sushi and we don't have any in, nor do we have the ingredients. How's that my problem? Go eat one of your salads for all I care. Sakuatsu scoffed, walking further into the kitchen and taking a glass from the cupboard that he then filled with tap water. Well, I need some of your money then. HAA. What? Why? Groceries dumbus. Oh. I see. Atsumu sighed, placing his phone down next to him to continue a conversation with Kiyumi. Fine. I'll with ya, but only if we go to a cafe. I want some coffee. That's fine with me. Wait. Don't we have to study with that girl after class? Shit. I forgot about that. Sakuatsu groaned, taking an aggressive sip from his glass. Why the fuck did I agree to that? Shit. Well, I guess we could go after that then, but we'll have to be quick. I have some assignments I need to start. How long do you think I'll have to help her for? I dunno. Like 1, maybe 2 hours? Somewhere around that. Sakuatsu sighed, taking another drink from his glass, this one larger to the point where he finished it. I set myself up for hell. I hate it here. That's not my fault, okay? Whatever. Class starts soon. Get your stuff. We should leave. HAA. We've got like 10 more minutes before we have to leave. No, we have 10 more minutes before class starts. She was late last time. Doesn't mean she'll be late this time. Now chop chop pisshead. We have class to get to. He then proceeded to walk out of the kitchen, making sure to leave his glass on the side. He'd probably wash it up later. Hey, what? My hair isn't piss colored anymore. He received no reply until a few moments later as Kyumi walked out from his bedroom, wearing a coat and a backpack on his back. He didn't bother to go back to Atsumu. Instead he walked to the door. I'm waiting for you. HAA. What? Atsumu scoffed, quickly jumping off of the countertop and rushing into his room where he grabbed his pre-made backpack filled with all the things he should need. He grabbed his coat off of a hook in his room before walking to meet Kyumi at the door. You're in such a rush and for what? The idea of missing this lecture doesn't exactly seem appealing to me honestly. We could just get there on time, you know. We don't have to be early. On time and late are the same words to you. Whatever. Are we going? Sakuatsu nodded, pulling the door handle down and stepping out of the room. Atsumu soon followed after, quickly sliding his shoes on, making sure to close and lock the door behind him. Sakuatsu hummed as he watched Atsumu turn his key and shove it in his pocket, sighing before he decided to say his next line. It was going to be so embarrassing. Kyumi held one of his hands out in front of Atsumu and the blonde raised an eyebrow. What do ya want? Hold my hand. HAA. Don't make a scene. Just hold my hand. Atsumu's cheeks flushed a bright red, though it seemed Sakuatsu was almost the same despite most of his face being covered by his mask. Atsumu shook his head and played with the fine hairs at the back of his head, trying to calm the obvious redness of his face down, though it didn't seem to be working. Just take my hand already, you'll get used to it. Atsumu did as Sakuatsu said, reaching his hand out and immediately locking hands with him, both of their fingers intertwining as they awkwardly began to walk to their class. Atsumu couldn't help but stare at their hands 90% of the time. Something about it just filled his heart with joy. Don't go silent on me now. It makes it more awkward than it had to be. We're holding hands, Omi. Of course I'm gonna be awkward about it. It's not that big of a deal. It's only our hands. It's a big deal to me. They eventually arrived at the classroom. It was a little tense when they first interlocked hands, but they eased up as they walked, both of them talking to one another how they usually would, but their hands never separated once. Well, that was until they were forced to. Atsumu sitting in his place in the classroom on the front row and Sakuatsu all the way at the back. Atsumu sat at his desk silently for a moment, just admiring the skin of his hand. It felt lonely and cold and just overall, he missed Sakuatsu's touch. Well, that was until a certain ginger boy silently took the seat next to him. Atsumu face dropping as his eyes begged to look his way and admire his face, but he refused, pulling out his phone instead where he texted Sakuatsu. Not much happened in class. The professor actually arrived on time and Atsumu was particularly happy. Sakuatsu was there to distract him from his sadness, and each time Kyumi had even spotted Atsumu attempting to look Hinata's way, he'd get at least 5 more messages. Sakuatsu just didn't want him to feel bad, and it worked better than he thought it would himself. Sakuatsu was pretty happy himself as he peacefully took his notes. He smiled to himself, his pen dancing across his paper as he doodled over it. Hey Atsumu? Atsumu's eyes went wide, his whole body stopping movement for a moment, his hand halfway into his backpack as he was loading his books and stationery into it. Holy fuck, Hinata was talking to him? A smile ran across his lips and a light pink dusted his cheeks, though he tried his best to hide it. Hey, I was wondering, basically, if you're not busy or anything. I was wondering if you would like to, grab a coffee with me. This time mouth parted too as his throat searched for the correct words to reply with. Hinata was asking him to go out with him. Holy fuck, he wasn't sure what to do. I guess that would be nice. I'm not busy. He cut himself off as he bit his lip. Fuck, he did have plans. Plans to help Kyumi not act like a nervous fucking idiot in front of this random girl they had just met. Did he really have the heart to leave him all by himself? He debated in his head for a moment. He really did want to go out with Shoyo, but his gut was telling him not to. He knew he'd feel extremely guilty afterwards. Kyumi was already doing so much for him. He couldn't just leave him alone like that. Atsumu? Are you busy? This time it was Hinata's time to be cut off. the sound of a call reaching their ears as a tall boy began to jog their way. Achoo. I am. Omi? Yes. You done packing up yet? No, not quite yet. Sakuatsu hummed quietly as he reached over the table as well as Atsumu as he began to quickly stuff his belongings into the bag until the desk was completely empty. He then picked up the bag, looping it over one of his shoulders as he grabbed the blonde's hand, interlocking their fingers. Sorry, but I'll be borrowing him. Omi. Atsumu's eyes widened as Kyumi dragged him away from Hinata by the hand, his cheeks redder than ever before as blood rushed to them, though he tried to hide the pigment with his shoulder. Hinata was left in shock, his lips slightly parted as his eyebrows hunched inwards. He bit his bottom lip before continuing to pack his belongings away, alone. Omi. What was that? SHH. It made his jealous, didn't it? I mean, I don't know. I couldn't see his face with how fast you dragged me out of there. Atsumu looked down to their still conjoined hands. He bit his lip and used his free hand to hide his rouged cheeks, though he didn't remove his hold. He decided he'd wait for Kyumi to do that. What was he even talking to you about anyways? Hey. The girl called for them as she exited the classroom. A backpack hung over her left shoulder and she walked over to them, a small smile on her lips and her hand waved in their direction. I thought you forgot about me for a second. You kinda charged out the room. Sorry. But it's not my fault. This idiot dragged me out. I'm not an idiot. You are. The girl chuckled, looping the arm of her backpack over her second arm this time. Well, at least you didn't forget about me. You're not busy now, right? If you made plans, that's okay. We're free. No need to worry. Ah, great. I was wondering if you could proofread my new essay. She looked over to Sakuatsu, who glanced nervously back, his hand subconsciously tightening around Atsumu, which further made him blush. Essay? What have you written an essay for? The new assignment, of course. HAA. Yeah, done with that already. Yes. I wanted to be organized for today since I knew you would be helping me. I spent all day yesterday just writing it. Geez, I haven't even started. Neither has Omi-kun, and that's saying something. Actually. Atsumu turned his head back, squinting his eyes and Kyumi and biting his lip for a split moment. Have you started the assignment yet? What? No. I told you this morning that I had a lot of assignments to start. See? I was right. He hasn't started it yet. She laughed a second time. Like I said, just wanted to be organized for you. But anyways, I know this is a little late, but I forgot to ask yesterday, but what are your names? HAA. How did you know it was Omi's assignment on Professor's monitor if you didn't see his name? His name wasn't on it. Well, as far as I could see, but there was a little profile picture that I could see. But is your name Omi? No. Atsumu shouted louder than he had originally intended to, clasping a hand to his mouth afterwards out of slight embarrassment. No, that's not his name. Why did you shout that so loudly? Shut up, Omi. I was just letting her know it wasn't your name, that's all. You could have just said that instead of shouting it. Well, it's too late now. So what are your guys' names? Alright. Atsumu. Atsumu turned back to Sakuatsu, who was staring nervously at the floor, his feet taking a subconscious step closer into Atsumu, which didn't fail to paint his cheeks pink. Atsumu turned back around, Sakuatsu showing no indication of opening his mouth. Atsumu knew Sakuatsu had awful social skills, but he didn't know they were this bad. This was just pathetic at this point, though he didn't poke any fun at him and chose to support him instead. And this is Sakuatsu. Nice to meet you. I'm Rose. There was silence for a moment and Atsumu decided to break it before it got too awkward. He knew full well that Sakuatsu wasn't going to say anything unless he had to. Well, are we gonna get off? Oh wait, you're coming too? Atsumu's eyes squinted. Something about her tone just then seemed weird and it pissed him off. What? Did she really think he was going to leave this awkward, antisocial, people-hating idiot with her alone? He scoffed before he spoke. Yeah, is that a problem? Oh, not at all. Do you need help with studying too? We live together. Oh, you're roommates? He's my boyfriend too. It was Sakuatsu's turn to blush this time, though unlike Atsumu, his mask was there to disguise it, his hand tensing around the blonde's before he released his grip, deciding to walk over to a nearby vending machine instead. That was a line he had never expected to come out of anyone's mouth. And he didn't hate it. Though it did make this whole fake dating thing seem real. But somehow he didn't have that either. Atsumu wasn't the worst to be around. But he wouldn't even consider fake dating anyone else. Omi-kun, don't just run off. Yes. He trotted over to him, hanging his arm over Sakusa's shoulder as he entered money into the machine, pressing the correct buttons according to what he wanted. Rose stayed in place, waiting for the pair of them to come back to them. Hey Achu. Yeah. Sakusa crouched down so that he was able to grab his drink from the selection area of the machine before he stood up once again, grabbing Atsumu's hand with his own free one. The blonde blushed again, this time using Sakusa's shoulder as a disguise as his forehead rested against it out of nerves. She can be our test. What do ya mean? We can test how convincing we are as a couple around her. I've never dated anyone before, so I don't really know how to act. So I guess this will be a good test? I am sure. We can't just convince Shoyo. It could seem a little fake. Atsumu nodded, sticking his head straight up. The blush had not yet faded from his cheeks so Sakusa could clearly see it. He smirked, yet not for long. The blonde quickly snatched the bottle from his hand and unscrewed the lid, taking a large gulp from it. Hey. The hell. I was thirsty. But. Shut up Omi. We can't keep her waiting forever. We've got some studying to do. Without another word, he dragged himself as well as Sakusa by the hand back towards Rose, though Sakusa didn't seem too impressed by it, letting out a groan when they finally stopped. You ready? MHM. Dash. 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 End of part 3. Hi besties. I hope you enjoyed the video. The next part should be out soon as long as I sort my wit situation out. But either way, it won't be a long wait. I'm really excited about the next part too. I have like ideas rushing though my head yes OMG. I'll see you in the next video besties. I love you.